And it was just another day, yeah.
Just another day.
Until I went to the movies, and now it's a movie Tuesday.
Just another
A movie
day.
Tuesday. Until a movie Tuesday.
Hello, and welcome to Movie Chewsday, the day where I talk about news, trailers, and a movie. Full disclosure, before we even get into it, let me just go ahead and say right now, if I seem a little more irate than usual, it probably has something to do with me just getting fucked in every orifice in my body. Just every hole is just stuffed and it's just pumping in and out. Even in my skin pores, just getting ugh. I'm a little tired right now. It's been getting dragged through the mud at work. That's one of the things that's affecting me. Another thing, if you didn't stay for the entire show last week, I won't bore you with the details, but I'll just keep the long story short. A show that I really liked, that I loved actually, got canceled. And me and other fans of the show, as well as cast members and crew members like show creators and stuff, have been working our asses off, doing whatever we can to get the show renewed and moved to a different channel or provider or whatever to finish out the show. And so we've been doing that for this whole time since way before last week's show. It's just been really grueling, and it's getting down to the 0 hour, and we literally are down to one hope left to save the show. And I'm holding on to that bit of hope, but at the same time, the realist in me is just saying, fuck my life. It's over. So that's another thing that's kind of got me in the dumps. And then the other thing that's got me down as well in a bad mood is I am once again having phone troubles. And I will not bore you with the details, but I will just say that whenever the time comes to upgrade my phone again, I think I'm done with Samsung. Okay, Samsung phones are shit. Everything after the Galaxy S4 is shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll say this: the S6 and the S7 are shit. I never had the 5. I don't have the 8. I will probably never get the 8 unless they give me that phone for free the way they did the 7. But all I can tell you is that the Samsung S6 and S7 Edges are shitty phones. Okay? Yeah, I said it. And maybe they'll come back to bite me in the ass, but you know what? I keep it real, all right? Make your shit better. So, yeah, I'm just, I'm down in the dumps. But hopefully, doing this will get me back in some form or fashion. So, anyway, enough of me boring you with things that have nothing to do with movies. Let's just go ahead and get to the news. And I'm going to warn you right now, it's going to be a very short news section this week because there's just a lot of things that didn't really grab my attention. I only found a couple things that tickled my fancy. So yeah, well, maybe I'll try and drag it out, but maybe this just isn't the right time to be dragging shit out. So let's just get right to it. Enough dilly-dally. Courtesy of Screen Rant. For all you Valerian fans out there, there is a possibility of a Valerian sequel to be made sometime in the future. So, Luc Besson is or is it Besson? I think it's Luc Besson. Luc Besson is, I guess, going around still promoting the movie. It's kind of weird because he was saying how the movie is about to premiere in Italy, and then it's still got to be released in Japan and a couple of other countries. It's just kind of weird to think that here in America, that movie's been out for forever, it seems like, and it's just now getting to other countries. That's crazy to think about that. But the movie is still doing its rounds, so I'm guessing that he's doing his rounds to promote it wherever he can. And the general consensus of the movie is that it isn't that great, but he has been getting a lot of fan reactions to where they love the movie and that they want him to do a sequel to the movie. So there's that. So far, the movie has brought in $220 million worldwide. That's not domestic, that's worldwide. $220 million. The budget was $180 million, but they're still saying that even at $220 million, it hasn't evened out yet. It's still like under. It's still considered a flop. It's still losing money. You know what I mean? It's not making its return on the investment, pretty much. So, like he was saying, the movie's still making its rounds. He still got some other countries to open it up in. And his plan right now is just he wants to get through that. And then he'll like tally up everything. And if he can make a sequel, he will. He was saying that like right now with the way this movie is going, he looks at it as like a phase or like a circle. And he was like, this is the first circle by having the movie come out in theaters. And then it's got to come out on VOD. And then it's got to come out on DVD. And then you add everything up and you'll see like what the size of the audience is and what they liked and what they didn't like. And then they'll make the decision then. So there's that. He also made some comments about how the movie scene just works differently, a lot more differently than it did like 12 years ago or whatever, where he was like, when The Fifth Element that came out, like that movie was in theaters for like 12 to 20 weeks, and he was like, nowadays movies come out and hit theaters and they're barely out in the theaters for like a month, So he was throwing some stuff around like that. So here's where I come in on that last comment that he made. I do agree that back in the day, movies did stay out in theaters for a long ass time, way longer than they do now. I remember when Star Wars Episode 1 came out, I remember me and my entire family going to the theater to see that opening night. And months later, because I can't remember when that movie came out, but I remember going down to Georgia during like the summertime, and me and my brother were like driving past this movie theater, and they had Star Wars Episode 1 still at the theater, right? And they had one showing for it. So like we stopped and bought tickets and went and watched it for probably like the fifth time at that moment, And like I said, that was, I don't remember exactly the timetable, but I do remember it being like months after that movie was out in theaters, because I remember just being so shocked that it was still in theaters. Like, it was crazy. So he's right about how movies stayed in theaters a lot longer back in the day. But there are occasions, very special occasions, where movies will still be in theaters months after they have come out. They just have to make the money to do that. For example, Wonder Woman, that movie is still in theaters. And not only is it still in theaters, there are like plenty of show times to go and see it. I mean, there's not like it's not like when it first came out where it's like, there's a show at 8:30, and then there's a show at 9, there's a show at 9:30, and then there's a show at 9:45. And it's like, it's not like that, but it is like kind of stretched out along the fucking day, where it's like you got like a 10 o'clock show, and then they'll have like a 1 o'clock show, and then they'll have like 5 or 6, and they'll go all the way to like maybe 10 o'clock at night, And I still see people like going to the theater with their Wonder Woman shirts on and stuff and going to see it. And, there's all kind of stories about how much money the movie continues to make and how it's just shattering records everywhere, And the sad thing is, I'm pretty sure the movie's getting ready to come out on video, because I was, before my phone took a shit, I remember seeing in the Play Store that Wonder Woman was available to rent. you know, because how they fucking put the movie out digitally like weeks before it actually comes out on video. Like, I saw that on the Play Store. So that means that the DVD release is at least 2 weeks away from now, or probably a week now that I'm thinking about it. But last time I checked, dude, that movie is still in theaters. So I even thought to myself, I was like, wow, like, they're actually gonna bring that movie out on video while it's still in theaters. Like, that's fucking crazy. And that's gonna be very interesting to see what happens money wise. Like, is it still gonna keep breaking records in theaters, or is it just gonna completely drop off because everybody just bought it on video and they just watch it at home now as many times as they want? Like, I don't know, it's crazy. But the bottom line is that the movie's got to perform well to sit in theaters for a while, and obviously Valerian didn't perform that well, because that movie is not in theaters the last time I checked. And if it is, it's at a theater that I haven't heard of, or that is nowhere near me. So there you go. So anyway, so that's that. The other thing is, though, I am happy to hear that a sequel is a possibility. I don't necessarily remember like word for word what my review was on Valerian, but I do kind of remember saying that the movie was okay. My main gripe with it was just the two lead actors just lacked a shitload of chemistry. And Dane DeHaan just like didn't deliver in his role for me. Like, I felt like he was really lacking charisma, you know. But regardless, like, I still thought the movie was okay. It definitely has a lot of room for improvement. If they do a sequel, my advice would be, if you're gonna keep Dane DeHaan, which I'm sure Bassan will, because he has gone on record to say that he loves his choice for DeHaan. He looks at him as like the next Leonardo DiCaprio, which is kind of out there. I don't really agree with that, but whatever. But if you're gonna keep him on, just have him inject more personality into the role. Like, his performance just, it wasn't great. I wasn't impressed with it. I wasn't sold on it, and there's definitely room for improvement. Another thing you need to do is, if you're going to do a sequel, get Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne in a room together, or just tell them to fucking hang out way before you start filming. Just be like, you guys are going to be friends for like the next couple of years, so fucking be friends and refer to each other by your characters' names and see what happens, you know, because the chemistry between those two was just, it was horrible. It was almost like they just met each other the day they started filming. So fix those things and maybe it'll turn out great if you get to do a sequel. I'm happy for the fans that you could possibly get your thing made. All I'm going to say is that make sure you support the movie, and you support the movie by watching the movie on legit services. Like, go through the proper channels to view the movie. Okay. Do not use a thing that we don't speak of. All right. Either go to the theater or pay on demand, or go to a Blockbuster or a Redbox, wherever the fuck is used for like physical rentals nowadays. Give the movie some damn money somehow. All right. You do that, and there is a good chance that you could possibly get a sequel. I mean, prime example is Suicide Squad. You know, that was another movie that came out where it critically and like fan wise wasn't really received well. You know, it got panned by critics, got panned by moviegoers, and somehow that movie ended up making like close to $1 billion. What did it top? I think it topped out around like maybe 700, a little over 700 mil worldwide. Can't remember for sure, but it was pretty high up there. It was up. I'm either thinking of that or BVS, but I know for sure that Suicide Squad ended up making a shitload of money. And I think it came from fans who like wanted to say like, the movie's not perfect, but it's still good, and I want to see a sequel. You know, I was one of those people. I ended up going to see it twice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that's the shit that you got to do to show your support. And you got to make sure you get enough people behind you to do it. I'm currently going through that right now with my fucking show, which, like I said earlier, ain't really panning out that well, but you know, you got to try. Like, we're living in a day and age now where we can directly talk to these people and let our fucking voices be heard. And, yeah, we got to do it. You know what I mean? And that's not the only reason why I'm so passionate about this whole thing with this movie possibly getting a sequel. I like the story behind the movie as well. Like, it was a crowd-funded movie. Bassan actually put his own money into it. And then it was like a childhood dream of his. I guess it was like a comic book that he read as a kid. And for him to actually like be an adult filmmaker and actually get to bring the comic to life, like, I thought that was pretty impressive. I really liked it. I just wish the movie could have been a little bit better, but I still like the story behind it all. So good luck to you, Mr. Luc Besson, and good luck to the fans of Valerian. So enough of that, I think. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. So let's move on to the next story. Staying with Screen Rant. There is a live action Fullmetal Alchemist movie that has been made, or is being made, because it doesn't come out till December, which we'll get into that a little bit later. But there's a live action Fullmetal Alchemist movie, and the director of the anime that the movie is based off was asked how he felt about the movie. And he pretty much said that he doesn't agree with the casting because it's a Japanese filmed movie over in Japan, and I guess the majority of the actors, or the majority of the characters, if not all of them in the movie, are played by Asian actors. And he was saying that he does not agree with that casting, and he thinks it was a bad idea to do that. The director is, all right, brace yourselves, because I'm going to try and pronounce this, and I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong. I want to say his name is Seiji Mizushima. So yeah, he was at the Niku Fest Festival over in Japan, which I'm guessing is some fucking convention over in Japan. I'm guessing like a Comic-Con or something. I don't know if he was doing a panel or somebody just like randomly, like some journalist just came up to him and randomly asked him what he thought. But his opinion was he thinks it was a bad idea to cast all Asian actors in those parts. His primary concern with it is just that he thinks it ruins the authenticity of what the manga and the anime got through. So yeah, he said, he was basically just talking about how it's going to be hard he doesn't think the Asian actors can pull it off, and he thinks it's hard to kind of like get that look and feel of the original manga. So there's that. So that's his whole thoughts and opinions on that. I'm cool with his opinion. Like we all got them. You can express them. It's just when you start getting outraged about shit, and when you bully people to the point where they have to quit their job just to appease you, is what I have a problem with. But what this person did is just fine. Someone asked him his opinion and he gave it, and it's clear on what he is focused on with this movie, is that he's trying to capture the essence. He's all about the look and he's all about the feel. And if we're being honest here, that's pretty much my default view on these types of things as well, is like, I'm about the look and feel as well. I've seen the Fullmetal Alchemist anime. I've never read the mangas, but I've seen both of the animes, or both of the anime. I think that's the plural of it. So if someone were to come around and be like, there's going to be an American adaptation of the Fullmetal Alchemist anime, I'm immediately thinking in my head, okay, who's going to play Edward? It's Edward, right? Yeah. Who's gonna play Edward? And in my head, what starts happening is I start thinking about young white dudes to play the part. That's my thought process. If they end up like doing it and they cast a character and they're like, we found Edward Elric, and let's say it's fucking, Donald Glover, I'm going to cock my head to the side and I'm going to be like, really? I'm like, all right, I mean, I like Donald Glover. I think he's a great actor, but as far as like Edward Elric, I'm like, I don't know. I thought you cast someone, like a white dude, somebody a little younger, somebody who's like blonde haired at least. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thought process. But I'm all for getting the right actor for the job. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get outraged. I'm not going to like say you should fucking drop that part, Donald Glover, because you're not white. I'm not going to say blackwash. I'm not going to do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I like that. So I like the guy's response where he just gives his opinion on it, and he's not like throwing anybody under the bus, really. He's not making like accusations of fucking Asian washing or Japanese washing or anything like that. He was just like, it's like, it's a, that in that anime, it's, the city's fictional, but it's like a European type setting, you know what I mean? And I feel like when I'm looking at Edward and Alphonse, I'm just like, it's like, I don't really see them being Asian characters. I see them being like, British or Welsh or something like that, at the very least, you know what I'm saying? So, so anyway, I don't know. I just like his response, and I'm really getting tired of people like getting outraged about shit. And that was the other thing I wanted to get at too, is like, where is the outrage for this Japanese or this Asian casting in this Japanese adaptation of Fullmetal Alchemist? Because I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep beating this fucking drum, because I want you all to see how fucking ridiculous you are when you fucking make somebody quit their damn job and make them feel guilty for taking a role and saying, oh, you're stealing jobs from these people over here. How dare you, like, you white person, how dare you take that part? No, white people aren't supposed to work in movies anymore. It's like, fuck that. This is bullshit, all right? Stop it. There is no whitewashing. But like I said before, consistency is the key word here. So if you're going to get outraged about some shit that happened, like with the whole Hellboy incident, you need to get outraged about this bullshit too. All right. Me personally, I've seen the trailer. We're going to get into it a little later, but I'm going to say right now, yes, it looks kind of weird seeing a whole bunch of Asian people running around, dressed as Edward and, well, not Alphonse because he's in armor, but like, you got Colonel Mustang actually did kind of look a little Asian in the anime. So that one's legit. But, what was the other dude's name with the glasses? I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to ruin anything. But, there's some characters where they didn't look Asian in the anime. And then, like, you're looking at the live action movie and you're just like, yeah, that looks kind of weird. But, who knows, man? Maybe they do a good job in the movie. We'll just have to wait and see, right? But, like I said, I'm not going to get pissed off about it. It's like, let's just wait and see what happens. Also, I'm understanding to, or I'm self-aware enough to know or to understand that this is a Japanese adaptation. So, of course, there are going to be Asian actors in the movie. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, because that's the same thing that happens over here in America when they're like, I'm going to make an American adaptation of Ghost in the Shell, which means that, yeah, dude, there might be some white folks in this movie. There might be some black folks in this movie. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't have any fucking problem with that, because you said the key words, which is adaptation. This is an American adaptation, just like the Fullmetal Alchemist movie is a Japanese adaptation. So I'm just throwing it out there, okay? That's my stance. But for all you, what they call it, social justice warriors or PC squad or whatever you want to call yourselves, all I'm saying is, if you're going to be getting pissed off at some shit, you got to get pissed off at everything, okay? And to bring it all back around, let's go back to that Hellboy news, because I forgot to mention that last week. So Daniel Day Kim got cast in the Hellboy movie. The part that Ed Skrein had dropped, the Captain Ben Daimyo, Daniel Day Kim is going to be playing that character. So here's something else that you need to get pissed off about, because I didn't read the reaction to his casting, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and say people were probably like, yes, finally, justice. Yeah, get the Asian actor in there. You know what I mean? I'm assuming that's what happened. But I really hope that you guys got just as pissed off at that casting as you did at Scream, because I did a little bit of research just to make sure, because those who don't know, Daniel Day Kim is from a little show called Lost. And for those who don't know, I was a pretty big Lost fan in my day, all right? And I knew when I was looking up actors and shit, like trying to get their background, because they gave such great performances in that show, I was looking up the backgrounds of the actors, and guess what? Daniel Day Kim is fucking Korean, okay? So I did research on the Captain Ben Daimyo character, and this was back during the whole Ed Screen incident. And according to Wikipedia, Captain Ben Daimyo was a Japanese American character. He was like an American with Japanese ancestry or some shit like that, right? So why ain't you getting pissed off that a Korean is playing a Japanese American character? I mean, you know, you got to make it authentic, you know? What are you trying to say? Just because he's Asian, he can play the fucking Japanese roles? I don't know, man. Just sounds kind of shady to me. That's all I'm saying, you know? Just putting it out there. Like I said, you gotta stay consistent with this shit. And like I said, if you're gonna get outraged about this type of shit, you gotta go all the way. You gotta go to full Monty, people. You can't be going half-ass with this shit, okay? I'm gonna keep on bringing it up. Don't worry. All right? I don't give a fuck. You can hate me all you want. Tell how it is. So, anyway, that's gonna do it for the news. I think I've rambled on long enough. Now we'll get to the trailers. First trailer, Tomb Raider. It finally premiered. It's what I've been waiting for. I've been looking at all kinds of screenshots while they were filming the movie, and they finally came out with the trailer. So here's my thing. And we're going to go back to what we were just talking about with fucking staying consistent and keeping things authentic. Bunny ears for you listeners out there when I said that. Where is the anger and the outrage and the protests about Alicia Vikander playing Lara Croft? Because did some research on Alicia Vikander back when she did a little movie called Ex Machina. And she is Swedish. She is a Swedish actor. Okay? Tomb Raider is about, or focuses around the protagonist, Lara Croft. And Lara Croft, for those who don't know, is fucking British. So why isn't anyone getting mad that a Swedish actor is playing a British character? What, you think just because that, you know, they're both white that she can just get away with that? Like, is that what we're saying here? You know, like, this is what I'm trying to get at, people. All right, stop getting pissed off at this fucking miscasting and shit. And, you know, or I mean, like I said, it's fine to not like something or to disagree with something, but it's just when you take it to the next level to where you're sending hate mail and being outraged about this shit and talking about how you're gonna boycott everything and claiming that shit is being whitewashed and shit like that, like, just stop it, okay? Because this is another incident that you could be getting mad about where a Swedish actor is playing a British character, okay? You could argue, like back in the day when Angelina Jolie was doing it, that the internet wasn't where it is today. I don't think Twitter existed back when the first two Tomb Raider movies had came out. I think MySpace was around, but I don't remember like any kind of like controversy going on when Angelina Jolie was cast as Lara Croft. All right, just throwing it out there. But now the internet is what it is today, where our voices can be heard and we can just like reach the fucking director, we can reach the fucking the props guy, the foley person. Like we can do all that. The person in lighting, like we can hit them up directly on Twitter or some way through the internet and be like, you fucked up or you did a great job. All right. So where's the outrage is what I'm trying to say. So if you ain't going to get pissed off about this shit, then you need to shut the fuck up the next time someone gets cast in a role that was originally meant for a more diverse character, you know. So that's all I'm saying. So all I'm trying to get out there. Anyway, let's just get back to it. Tomb Raider. Trailer came out. I watched it. And here's my thing. I'm really like on the movie right now. Like it just, something about it just looks off. And not just with the actor. It's just something about that movie as a whole. Just, I don't know. I think it's because a lot of the parts that they showed in the trailer, it looks like there's a lot of green screen going on, and it doesn't really mesh well with the overall movie, especially with the source material. But first, let's get to the actress or actor that's playing Lara Croft, Alicia Vikander. So yes, I've seen her in other projects. This is probably the first time I've seen her in like a physical role, so I don't really know what to expect. I think she was in The Man from U.N.C.L.E., but I don't remember if she like really had any like physical parts in that movie. So I think that was mainly left up to like Armie Hammer and Henry Cavill. Not sure. Got to watch it again. But yeah, so this is going to be like the first action role that I've seen her in that I can remember. When they were showing screenshots of the movie, I was looking at her and I was just like, something about her just doesn't look right. And I pinpointed it to the same problem that I had with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, where it's like, I like the actor and, you know, I like the actor. I'm very well aware of their work, but it's just like their appearance in the costumes or in their get-ups just doesn't look right. They look like they need more meat on their bones. They just look bony and they look like they couldn't take a hit. Okay. And one of the things that they're doing in this movie, like just watching the trailer, they're taking a lot from the video game that the movie is based off of, the latest reboot game that they came out with a couple years back. They're borrowing a lot from that game. And in that game, Laura just gets wrung, okay? She gets pulled through the fucking mud, the gravel, the water, the fucking insides of a shark. You name it, dude. Like, she gets beaten and battered in that game. And based off of what I watched in the trailer, it seems like they're going to try and hit those same kind of beats that the game did. And when I'm looking at Alicia Vikander and how slim she is, I'm just like, dude, like, she looks like she'll fucking break if you just breathe on her the wrong way. You know what I mean? Now, I want to be proven wrong. Don't get me wrong, dude. I'm just saying, like, I just feel like she could have put a little more weight on for this part. Maybe it's just me being used to looking at the character Lara Croft in the game, because in the game, she's slim. You know, she's not fat. She's slim, but she's got like some meat on her bones to where it's like if she tumbles down a fucking cliffside, you know what I mean, and she gets up and kind of like stumbles and walks it off a little bit, I'm like, that's a little bit more believable than what I'm seeing right now in the previews for the Tomb Raider movie. But regardless, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm open to being sold on her physically, but we won't know until the movie comes out. And unfortunately, it doesn't come out until March 16th, which is a very, very long time from now. So not looking forward to that. I saw some memes. A buddy of mine showed me a couple of the memes on the internet where people are making fun of her neck being super long or whatever. Like, come on, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There were some memes that people had made where like they did the whole like Thor Ragnarok where they extended his neck. That was funny, but like making fun of her like bodily features is kind of fucked up, man. I'm just saying, you know, it's like it's kind of it's kind of low, guys. Let's just stop picking the low hanging fruit. But it's like, some people got long necks. What can I say? Leave her alone. But I am excited for the movie. It doesn't really look like it's gonna be that great so far, but I'm still gonna go see the movie regardless, just because I do like that franchise, and I stand by the fact that the Tomb Raider movies, the first two Tomb Raider movies, are two examples of good video game movies. Like they're the examples that there can be good video game movies that are made and done right. You know what I mean? There's some other ones on that list too, but like Tomb Raider is definitely on there. Another thing I kind of want to see too is I kind of want to see if they're going to sneak in a cameo by Angelina Jolie, as a way of her passing the torch. Like, that'd be cool. I haven't heard anything like that, but that's a good thing, because if they do actually do that, that'd be a nice thing to see. But we'll just have to wait. As far as like the movie itself, it looks like it's going to be a long movie as well. They're in the game. The game starts off where she's like on her way to the island, and in the movies, or in the trailer for the movie, they're showing like her going to her company and people not knowing who the hell she is, and finding the puzzle their dad left her, and she's trying to unlock it and everything. Like, they're showing things off of the island, right? And in my brain, I'm thinking they're going to like just do a steady flow from her showing up to her house or whatever, because maybe she's been abroad all this time. And they're going to show her like come to her house, get the clues from her dad, and then get on the boat and then go to the island. And you got to deal with all the bullshit that's going on the island with her like trying to survive the wild and everything like that. And it just seems like if they go that route, it's going to be like probably a little over 2 hours of a movie, unless of course all that stuff that they show off the island is just flashbacks in that case, but I don't know what's going on. But right now it looks like it's gonna be a pretty long movie, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like, take your time to tell the story that you are trying to tell. So there's that. So anyway, like I said, regardless of how Alicia Vikander looks, we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. Hopefully they tighten up the visuals in the movie before it comes out, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff where it is clearly green screen, and I'm just kind of like, it's like, fucking, you could just tell your cinematographer to fucking step their game up, because right now it's looking a little wonky. And she also looks a little stiff on some stuff, like when she's drawing back the arrow, or drawing back the bow to loose the arrow. She looks a little stiff in some instances, and when she's like running away from fucking waterfalls and rock slides and shit like that, I don't know. It looks a little wonky, but I do understand that this is probably like early footage that they're showing. Like, they probably just put the trailer together, and maybe they'll go through and tighten some shit up based off of fan reaction. So like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. But make no mistake, I will see this movie when it comes out, regardless. Even if it comes out and all the reviews are just like, it is the worst fucking movie ever. Oh my God, I can't believe this was even made. I will still go and see it, okay? Because I am the deciding factor on when a movie is good or not and worth going to see. Anyway, move on to the next one. So once again, going back to the news section where we were talking about Fullmetal Alchemist, I was like curious when they started talking about the live action movie, and I wondered, after reading the story and everything, I was like, I wonder if there is a trailer for the movie, because it actually comes out kind of soon, kind of not, it comes out in December 1st. So I was like, I wonder if there's a trailer for it. So I went over to YouTube and typed in Fullmetal Alchemist trailer, and sure enough, some trailers popped up, and I watched them. So here's the thing. Here's what I appreciate about like Japanese made adaptations, right? Like their live action stuff. Here's what I appreciate about it is that they just like as far as like the look goes, they get those costumes down to a T. Okay, like they pretty much take the page of the manga and the frames of the anime, and they just transfer everything over to live action on the movie screen. So like for instance, in America, if we're doing an X-Men movie, right? When you hear that there's going to be an X-Men movie made live action, you automatically start thinking in your head, at least I do, like, okay, a live action X-Men movie. So, we got to get Cyclops in some blue spandex with some bright yellow boots and bright yellow gloves and a yellow visor. And then, we got Wolverine, who's going to have this bright ass yellow leotard on. And he's got his fucking midnight blue boots to put on and his gloves to match. And then he's got this big old yellow and black mask with the wings on the face that he's got to wear. And then they actually build the costumes for the movie. And it's just like, no, we're just going to put them in fucking black leather. And at the very least, we'll give their old school colors some highlights onto the black leather. That's as much as we'll do, and we'll change the design of each of the costumes, but for the most part it's just black leather. We're trying to keep it conventional here, people. They did that kind of stuff, right? That's how it happens usually over in America. In Japan, they're just like, no, dude, if Edward Elric is a blonde hair dude with this blood red trench coat on, that's what he's wearing in the movie. And they just follow it to a T. Even Alphonse is just decked out in his armor, and he looks exactly how he does in the anime. And I was very impressed with it. Another thing that I like about their adaptations is that they all have this look to them where they kind of look like soap operas. They kind of have that little hazy sheen. It's really bright, and they have a little hazy sheen over it. And it always looks like a soap opera. And I feel like they do that to save money so that they could just overhaul the CG effects in the movie, because some of the effects are a little meh. But there's a couple of them that I was like, that actually looks pretty good. And as far as Alphonse goes, there were times where I thought that he was CG. Sometimes it looks like it's a dude in a big outfit, in a big iron outfit or whatever. But then there's other times where I'm just like, I wonder if that's CG, So I appreciate that. That being said, the movie doesn't look that great. It looks kind of weird. Like I was saying before, even though it is a fictional town, you can tell that there is a European type theme to it. And they try to capture it in the movies, or they try to capture it in the movie in the trailers that I've seen, but it still just looks a little disjointed. And, seeing all the Asian actors run around, playing these parts where I'm just like, that's just not how I pictured Edward would look like in a live action adaptation of Fullmetal Alchemist. But it is exactly that. It is an adaptation. It is a Japanese adaptation. So I completely understand that you can't go and get Zac Efron or fucking Dylan O'Brien to come and play Edward Elric in a Japanese adaptation of Fullmetal Alchemist. It's you gotta deal with flying him out there. You gotta deal with, setting him up in a hotel room. Then you gotta deal with the language barrier where they gotta have a translator and shit to translate everything so they can actually do what the director wants them to do. I understand all that shit. So that's why I say, people need to stop getting so fucking pissed off about this whole casting situations that happen in these movies. You know what I'm saying? It's you gotta understand that the key word is adaptation. Okay, this is an adaptation of the source material. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with Ghost in the Shell. It's I would understand if the movie took place in Japan and shit. Sure, maybe we could make the character Major an Asian, played by an Asian actor or something, to make it, to get the authentic look to it. But when you say that you're doing an American adaptation, I completely understand that you're going to get, actors who aren't necessarily of Asian descent to play some parts that were most likely intended to be played by Asian actors because it was is based off of a Japanese anime, but it is an American adaptation, so I understand the changes that you are making for the movie. And that's the same case that's going on with Fullmetal Alchemist, where it is a Japanese adaptation of the source material that takes place in a European setting, and you got the majority of the characters, it looks like, played by Asian actors. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, okay? So everybody just needs to chill the fuck out with all the outrage and all these accusations of whitewashing and shit, you know? The other thing that looks kind of weird, too, is that the character's name is still Edward Elric. And it's like, it was the same situation with Death Note, with the Death Note movie, where, yeah, they changed Light's last name from Yagami to Turner, which is great, but they still kept his first name Light. And I'm like, who the fuck in America names their kid Light? Okay? And it's the same thing in the Fullmetal Alchemist movie, where it's like, you got this character who's played by an Asian actor, and the character's name is Edward Elric. And I'm just like, yeah, your name just doesn't fit the way you're looking right now, you know, and maybe that's a mean thing to say, but I'm just telling it like it is, you know. It's the same situation where it's like, your name is Light Turner. What the fuck kind of name is Light? So, you know. But anyway, as far as if I'm going to go see the movie or not, probably not. Like, I don't even think it's going to actually come here in the first place. If it does, yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait for it to come out on like a streaming service. I'm pretty sure they will put it on Crunchyroll if it came down to showing that movie. So if it hits Crunchyroll or just some streaming service that I have, I'll watch it there. But as of right now, I don't really plan on going to see that movie in theaters, just because it doesn't really look that great. And that's not just me comparing it directly to the source material. It's just that I don't know. Maybe I am just directly comparing it to the source material, but it doesn't look like a good adaptation. But I could be wrong, dude. You know, we'll just have to wait and see when it comes out. So there you go, man. Fullmetal Alchemist comes out December 1st. So if you go see it, let me know how it was, and you know, I'll check it out when it hits those streaming services. So enough with that. Let us finish this whole thing out and get this over with, and let's get to the movie that I watched. So the movie we'll be talking about this time is American Assassin, or as I like to call it, American Ass to Ass In. Full disclosure before we even get into it, because the movie is based off of a novel. I didn't read the novel or book, whatever you want to call it. I didn't read the source material, so let's just get that out the way right now, just in case there's any purists out there who's like, oh, it was a good book, you should have read it, and you didn't understand it because I didn't read the book. Don't worry about it, all right? I didn't do that. I just went to go see the movie. Honestly, this movie is lucky that I actually went to go see it, because Mother actually came out the same day, and I wanted to go see that, but the old lady wanted to go see American Assassin. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to see American Assassin, but I rather would have seen Mother first. So there's that. So let's get into it. When I went to the movie, I went in with clear expectations to where I just wanted to see Michael Keaton and Dylan O'Brien be a bunch of badasses, okay? I want to see them like fucking fighting, fucking CQC, gunfights, explosions, jumping around and flipping and breaking people's necks and stabbing them in their throats and slitting throats and all that. Like, that was what I wanted to see, and that was what I got, all right? And that reason alone is why I would say I enjoyed the movie for the most part. And the reason why I had to go in like that is because I knew exactly what this movie was going to offer. You know, I knew that it was going to be the same old story that's been told numerous times before, where it's just old school versus new school. You got the young hot shot who's reckless and and he's messy, but he gets results. He gets the job done no matter what because he's relentless and he's young and he doesn't know better. And then you got the old school veteran where they've been around the block. They've forgotten more shit than you know. They're effective. They follow traditions for the most part. And, they're hardened and everything like that. And they don't trust each other, because it's old school versus new school. And they always think old school is better until new school comes along and shows them a couple of new things and get them to think about some shit, like all that. Just same old shit over and over. All right. So I knew what to expect going in. Didn't have high expectations for it. But anyway, the action was good. And that was what I went for. That's why the movie was okay. Story's fine. It's very simple. It's easy to follow. Unlike another spy thriller movie that came out earlier this year that goes by the name of Atomic Blonde, where there's just twists and turns everywhere you go to where you can't even really follow the movie until the very end of it. That's not a factor in this movie. It's pretty easy to follow. It's not going to make your brain explode trying to follow everything that's going on. It's pretty straightforward with a lot of the shit that happens. And they don't necessarily beat you over the head trying to explain everything. It's everything's just laid out for you. It's very simple. If you don't understand what the fuck is happening in the movie, something's wrong, honestly. But as far as the performances, the performances are good. I like the chemistry between Keaton and O'Brien. The last movie that I saw Dylan O'Brien in was the Maze Runner movie, which I was very impressed with. I still haven't seen the sequel to it for some odd reason, but I was impressed with his outing the first time around. Michael Keaton still has it. He's a fucking badass, okay? If you go there alone, just going to see that, I think you will leave the movie satisfied. The one thing that I will pull from this movie that I just kept thinking about over and over again, probably midway through, because every time I see Michael Keaton, I think about Batman, right? I was looking at this movie, and midway through, I'm looking at Dylan O'Brien, who's selling me on the action, who's selling me on the CQC and the shootouts and stuff that he's doing, and flipping around and doing parkour and all kind of other shit, right? I was like, oh my God, I just found Terry McGinnis. Warner Brothers, if you are listening to this, if anyone at Warner Brothers or knows someone at Warner Brothers, listen to me right the fuck now. You make the Batman Beyond movie, you get Michael Keaton back to play Bruce Wayne, and then you get Dylan O'Brien to play Terry McGinnis. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Of course, you need to jump on this now because Dylan O'Brien will not keep his boyish charm forever unless he's got Anna Kendrick syndrome. But as of right now, you need to get on the ball and get this shit happening because all through the movie, I just kept thinking, I was like, oh my God, dude, it's Batman Beyond. It's Batman Beyond. This is as close as I'm going to get to Batman Beyond right now. It's it's got to happen. It's got to happen, so. But, yeah, that's... Like I said, that's all I really got for you. I can't really go too deep into story details because I don't want to give shit away. But like I said, it's highly predictable. So if you go see the movie, just go in knowing that. I don't want you to be disappointed. So overall, the movie was okay. Do I recommend going to see it in theaters? Honestly, no, I don't. Like I said, you've seen it all before. The action's good. It's the camera moves around a little bit during a lot of action scenes, but for the most part, you can follow what's happening. It's not hard to see what people are doing. Every now and then they move a little too fast for the camera, but for the most part, the action's shot really well. But yeah, I don't really think it's worth going to see in theaters. This is one of those movies where when it comes out on cable and you're sitting at home and you're just kind of flicking channels and you see on the guide that American Ass to Assin is about to come on and you're like, oh shit, it's that movie with Michael Keaton that I never got to see in theaters. That's when you watch it. And you'll sit down and you'll watch it. And when the credits start rolling, you're going to be like, you know what? That wasn't a bad movie. I don't regret not seeing that in theaters, but I did enjoy the movie, watching it from the comfort of my own home, not having to deal with any dipshits in the movie theater. So, yeah, that's my final verdict on that. So, American Ass to Assin. Hopefully, next week, I could talk about Mother. Definitely going to talk about Kingsman, because I do want to go see that. I think that's coming out this week. I have to double check to make sure. But that's all I got for you this week. I'm going to sign off, because like I said, I feel like shit. I'm in a little bit of a better mood after doing all this, but at the same time, I'm thinking about the product I just delivered, and I'm not really feeling it too much, but who am I to judge? I'll leave it up to you. So until then, that was Movie Chewsday. Now it's just another day, and I'm out.
And it was just another day, yeah.
Just another day.
Until I went to the movies, now it's a movie Tuesday.
Just another day.
A movie Tuesday. Until a movie Tuesday.